Over the last few years in Birmingham, there seems to be a new sense of energy amongst the artists and the relevant contributors of the grime scene. The documentary will explore whether there's been a shifting change of attitude towards each other, opposed to the earlier years of tension between individuals and different music circles. Before we get into highlighting the feel of a more togetherness, we will explore what grime music actually is, for those who don't know, acknowledging the buzz and excitement of the authentic sound that people keep hold of, not forgetting the criticism the genre faces due to what's associated with the sound. The aim of the documentary is to leave the audience with more of an understanding on such a debatable subject such as unity, and just the overall state of the emerging grime scene in Birmingham.
Describing grime to somebody who doesn't know grime is crazy. It's a genre of music originally kind of made at 140 BPM, beats per minute. It's a fusion of old school garage, you know, with more underground sounds, bit of jungle, bit of dubstep influence, bit of trap influence. It's a bit of everything. Grime's a bit of a lifestyle now as well. It's not just a music, much more than a music. It's a way of life, it's a fashion, you know, it's a culture.
It's about vibes, energy, bars, reloads, and just like basically like it's UK grown music, and it's like original from the UK, and it's like an English thing.
I would describe grime as like UK's hip hop. So I describe it like, cause that's the best way to describe it to somebody who's never heard it or somebody who doesn't know much about grime. You get what I'm saying? So I'd say it's like hip hop, but the UK style of it. You get what I mean? Because it's a break up from hip hop anyway. It all came from hip hop, like, and things like dancehall, them kind of music. You get what I'm saying? But it's like a mixture. It even derives from drum and bass and UK garage. So it was UK garage first. So if you're ever describing grime to somebody, you have to mention UK garage, because that was the root of grime.
It's the sounds of the streets. In a nutshell, that's what it is. Basically what you've got is you've got a lot of the artists which comes from different parts of the UK. So if we take Birmingham for example, or where I live, you know, you got your areas like Newtown, Aston, Handsworth, Highgate, you know, the bits, you know what I mean, like your ghetto areas, if that's what you want to put it, you know what I mean, your deprived areas, and that's where a lot of the artists come from, you know, local areas, and they're just basically bringing the sounds of their streets, their little clique, their little team that they work with, you know what I mean, their friends. They may have a friend that's a producer, you've got this friend that knows how to rap or MC, whatever you want to call it, this person that knows a link up to put it on the G. It's the sounds of your streets, the sounds of your hood, the sounds of your bits, your little crew, your clique, your little circle. And if you take all them little cliques and circles and go all around the country, you know what I mean, different areas and that's what you've got, loads of people in loads of different areas, and it's mostly the deprived areas, because I can only speak for Birmingham, you know, there's not many MCs that come from Sutton Coldfield, there's not many MCs that come from Lichfield, there's not many MCs that come from Four Oaks, you know what I mean, and them sort of places. There is one or two, but you know what I mean, me as being one of the main grime DJs for Birmingham, with the only radio show at the moment that just focuses strictly on grime, and most of the music that I get from the artists are from these more deprived inner city areas.
Grime, and it says it on the tin, grime, grimy lyrics, grimy bars, 140 BPM music, grime, you know, but you can skank out too, it's grime music.
Grime to me, like, it's that raw UK sound. It's our thing, our sound. Like, I know they say like it originates from East London. Like, obviously Wiley and that created the sound, like the actual music, the grime beats and stuff. But like the MC inside of it, like it stems from the garage days. We was doing it garage days, like the darker garage tunes, and like the garage heads like weren't really feeling them tunes too much. And then like obviously the subgenre of grime was developed, and like it's been there, it's always been there. Like for those who know about the drum and bass, jungle days, like it's got the elements, and then so on you have dubstep, which has elements of grime involved in it. Like it's like one big family of UK genres.
Right now the grime scene in Birmingham, to be honest, it's not as healthy as it was, but it's a lot better than It's a lot better now though. It's not as healthy as it was, but it's not better now. Before, yeah, there was a lot more, I would say before, yeah, a lot more serious MCs shining, you get what I'm saying? Now, I think most of the serious MCs that used to be serious MCs, that used to be serious in the game, I think they're kind of like, I don't think they get looked at as much as they should, do you get what I mean? Like, there's old school MCs from Birmingham who, when I'm saying different levels, RD, all these different people, like Midlands Mafia, they were shutting down the game in Birmingham back in the day. Who else? Micro, I'm not that big on South, you know what I'm saying? But who else is there? There's loads, to be fair, there's loads. If you're gonna mention Grime and back in the day in Birmingham and how it used to be to how it is now, first things first you have to mention Oxygen Room, because that is where Grime stemmed from in Birmingham, you get me? That's where we created our scene. And to be honest, it's nothing like that now. There's no hubs in Birmingham. Like, there's a lot of spitters, a lot of MCs and artists, but there's no hub now. The hub is gone. That used to be the hub. Like, when I'm saying the hub, that's where everyone came together. That's where you saw egos grow. That's where you saw people turn into actual serious mic man. That's where you saw clashes, the real war, you get what I'm saying, the real battles and that, you get what I'm saying. But I tell you what, we've still got now big things like, I don't know if it's still called Silk City, but Silk City was a big radio station, fully carried from Grime, and it's still going up till today now. I don't know if it's still got the same name, might have changed, but yeah, Silk City, that was one of the main things in Grime. And to be honest, the only thing that's changed from back in the day till now is we've got more options now. Back in the day in Birmingham, we didn't have a lot of options in the grime scene. Now we've got a lot more options, a lot more things are available, so grime MCs can actually be big artists now.
I think it needs to grow. I think it's in a much better position than it was before. I think we've got a lot of new emerging artists. We've got a lot of new established artists that are pushing forward. Give you a few examples: Saf1, JK, Hitman, Triller, Bomber, Devilman, Pressure. You know what I mean? They're just MCs, you know, producers, Mystery, Predator, Rinserman, SMY, Darks. Well, for DJs we could do with a lot more, but as I say, the scene in Birmingham is flourishing. It's not the finished article yet, but it's flourishing. You know, there's still a lot of work for the artists to do. It's still a relatively new genre, even though it's been about 16 years, 17 years, something like that. It is still relatively a new genre compared to every other genre, like your hip hop, your rock, your classical, you know, they've been about for years. Grime's still new, so it's flourishing. Grime scene in Birmingham's flourishing.
It's always had like strong foundations, but like now, a lot of the artists and MCs are getting a lot of recognition from outside of Birmingham and stuff, and it's getting more recognised. I think that next is heading for that worldwide thing, because like nationwide, we definitely know, we've been known for like many years. But like, I think the whole scene's evolved. So if the whole scene's evolving, Birmingham's evolving. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. We've always been doing stuff. But as the scene grows, you'll see the growth in us as well. Because there's a lot of talent down here from like all the guys like myself, to like the other generations, the new youths that are coming up. Like, we have got a strong like scene down here, definitely. I wouldn't say there's loads of things going on. Like, there's not a lot of activity, but we make that happen. Like, I think the music speaks for itself. That's all it is. All we've got down here really is the music.
Grime music in Birmingham at the moment, it's on the up, you know. A lot of people are working, a lot of new people are getting on the genre. A lot of old people are working extra hard now on the genre. A lot of people from outside of Birmingham are looking in on Birmingham as basically the #1 grime city. So what does that tell you?
The grime scene in Birmingham at the moment, it's crazy. It's taking off, man. It's taking off, and you know, it can't happen too soon, in my opinion. You know, right about now, Birmingham's getting a lot of love, you know, from the people who do control the scene per se. You know, they are starting to appreciate what it is that we do up here as a city, the energies that we've been bringing. I definitely do feel, you know, in the gap, say maybe over the last, say, 5 to 7 years, Birmingham has played its part.
Grime scene in Birmingham is popping, been popping a few years, 3-4 years. When other areas weren't cool to do grime no more, Birmingham man was still on it, still putting in the work, doing the grime, and it's paid off, you get me, because there was a hype around the city. You know, everywhere else was looking at Birmingham.
I'd say definitely there's more of a sense of unity within the Birmingham scene, especially in the grime scene. It might not necessarily be physical unity in terms of seeing certain pockets of people with each other all the time, but I think it's more towards the common goal, and the common goal is, you know, wanting to be the best and being the best representing your city. So everybody sharing those type of ambitions means that Birmingham does push forward.
Yeah, man, there's more of a sense of unity because everybody's trying to get to the same place, which is like to a level where they can get paid for their music, they can collaborate with others, and basically a tension thing or having tension with other people might limit what you can and can't do. So I think the stage that we're at now, everyone's grown up a bit more, a few years on, everyone's saying, yeah, it's time to work. So I reckon we're all cool now. We're cool. Like not everybody's cool, but majority of the people are cool in the genre right now.
Yeah, there's a lot more unity now. You know what I mean? I think a major factor of it was certain man growing up. You know what I'm saying? Not kids no more. They're adults now, and then they're seeing what benefits they're getting from the music. So of course they're gonna do things to benefit themselves. You get me? So obviously, if he's making money off music, you know what I mean? Leave that to one side. I'm gonna make money off my music. I don't care if he's from there or whatever. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, it wasn't like that.
Yes and no. Okay, the reason why I say that is grime itself as a genre, war is a part of it. If there was no war, it wouldn't be grime, because that's just grime as a genre. A part of that genre is war. Now, when we're talking about war, we're talking about musical war. You know, crews sending shots at each other on a dub, you know what I mean? Crews sending indirects or whether directs, going in the booth, writing lyrics about this artist, that artist. So, you know, not a lot of the musical beef is not actual beef. The artists can still be in a place and see each other and be okay. Obviously, once they step into the booth, it's something different. But that aspect where the musical beef and crews not agreeing with each other, that's a part of grime that we have to accept, because the people that make it and the music itself is from the streets. Now, same way there's going to be disagreements and that on the streets, you know what I mean? The same way there's going to be like that in music. It's not just grime that it happens, you know what I mean? Meek Mill and Drake, you know, were going at it. You know what I mean? A lot of it happens in hip hop, a lot of it happens in bashment, you know what I mean? Cartel and this person, Bounty Killer and this person. So it's not just grime, it happens in other genres, but you know, it's recognised, like the musical beef is recognised in grime, and we actually look forward to it. You know what I mean? When two artists are beefing on the social network and, you know, shots are being fired at each other, you know, with harsh words, you sit back and think, yeah, somebody's going to put out a war dub here. You know what I mean? And for those who don't know what a war dub is, it's if you've got something to say about somebody, you'd go in the booth, you'd lay it down in rhymes on a track, and then you'd put it out. You know, the person who you're sending it out, he'd hear it, and then he'd go back in the booth and say something to either counteract it or to send shots at you. So
the feuds are still there. It's still there. It might be covered up a little bit, like might be a little bit watered down, but it's still there. You get what I'm saying? It's just, as I was saying in one of the previous questions, like the hub ain't there no more. Where we had Oxygen Room, that was our place to release. So where the feuds used to happen, they used to actually be controlled feuds. People used to clash. You used to get it over and done with. You used to get it off your chest. The CD would go out. The roads would hear about it. You get what I'm saying? You would know that he's not the good one and he's the good one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot more unity now within the city. Like a lot of artists are like working with each other, reaching out to each other, artists that you probably wouldn't see together. And I think the people like to see that. Like, yeah, there was a lot of segregation back then, and like there still is certain things like that, but the majority of people out there are just like getting on, doing their thing, and like, you know, like it's really about just making the music in it. It's not really an animosity thing. So I think you have like clashes and like, we're talking music feuds, you have like clashes, but I don't think it's like a sportsman thing these days, isn't it? You get the odd people that are like at each other's throats and like for serious things and that, but like I don't think it should be on microphones, you know what I'm saying? When it's clashing, it's clashing. It's like a sportsmanship, you know what I'm saying? You have to respect the man that you're clashing, because why are you going to put yourself on a level with someone that you don't respect?
And I definitely feel that Birmingham's benefited from that type of unity and this type of energy that's been coming from the city. A lot of good things are happening with a lot of the artists right now. You know, they're doing tours, supporting shows, not just for artists from the UK but overseas. You know, people not only from the UK but overseas are starting to look towards Birmingham and really acknowledge and appreciate the work that we do here. There's a vast array of talented people in Birmingham. Like I said, you know, DJs, MCs, producers, the designers, the graphic designers, the videographers, the people who do the filmmaking, you know, the sound engineers. Everybody plays a good part. And I think by everybody just, you know, putting their heads down, keeping working over the past, you know, 5-7 years, it's allowed us to benefit from it now. And I think slowly we're just, as a city, starting to see the benefits.
Yeah, I'd say it's beneficial because like it shows the city's growing as one, and like a lot of people will look at Birmingham and see like this artist and that artist and won't see no barriers and restrictions and that. Obviously like it's there and whatnot, but yeah, as one, the unity is definitely a good thing, and you'll see most artists in Birmingham reaching out to each other, doing shows together. So yeah, it shows that we're growing as one, as I keep saying. And
the unity, you know, it's definitely it's made the Midlands benefit from it. Because if you look before, you had Bomber B and JK were singing through each other, but there's videos of them both on stage. You know what I mean? There's videos of them after that, a couple of years after that, where they're both on stage, you know what I mean, spraying bars with each other. You know what I mean? So it's the unity definitely, especially with the attitude of Birmingham people in general. You know, a lot of people don't like to interact, they like to just stay in their circle. But now there's more interaction and that going on, so it is definitely beneficial for the music, for the artists, and for Birmingham as a city.
People are sharing fan bases and are making people who I work with then, if I didn't work with them before, or we had feuds before, if I work with them now, I'm opening up and showing them to my fan base and vice versa. So it's a plus all around.
I tell you where it's benefited, because the unity makes growth, it makes everyone grow up, you know what I'm saying? And I do feel like there's a lot more grown up people now, like artists that you see, everyone's got a bigger mind with them now, you get what I'm saying? Like their minds expanded, everyone has got a bit of direction now, where there wasn't much direction before, you get what I'm saying? But I tell you what, that's probably what unity's brought to Birmingham, direction. Now people know where they're going, people are learning off each other.
people think the unity's for show. Unfortunately, in a lot of cases it may be. Like, I don't personally indulge in that myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm showing love, I'm showing love. But it might be that in many cases. But like, I think people would rather it be that than it be something else. You know what I mean? Because situations can go really quick, and like, I think people like helping each other out, even if like they want to bite their tongue at times. It's a good kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for positive movements and that. But yeah. Really, like, there is a lot of cases where it is for show. Like, you'll get an MC, it's just for show, like, not passionate about what they do.
I don't know, now it is more united, but to be honest, I personally, this is my personal opinion, I just think it's fake now. You get what I'm saying? Like, everyone might be united and but it's fake. You get what I mean? Like, it's not as real as it was back then, because back then the people that was linking up, the people that was doing stuff together, it was all for a reason. People was friends, you get what I'm saying? People was linking up for just the love of it, you get what I mean? Now people are linking up because obviously that man's probably got a certain name, or that man might give that person's followers a boost, or you get what I'm saying? It's not like that no more. It's not, people don't do it for the love no more. People don't do it because how much they rate that person and they rate that person as a person, you get what I mean? Now people are linking up. It's for the fame now, you get what I mean? People have lost it.
Unless you're with them people and part of it, you can't say that, because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You know what I mean? That there to me is an assumption. Because right now we're sitting there and we're saying, oh, they've put on this, you know, they've put on this, you know what I mean? It's a show, you know what I mean? Unless you're around them people, you don't know. And for me, I can't fully answer that, because it's an assumption. You know what I mean? We're assuming that this has happened, you know what I mean? Unless you're part of what's going on there, you can never answer that. You know what I mean? We can only assume and presume. You know what I mean? And a lot of people do say that yeah, this and that's for show, this and that's been put on for show, but we don't know.
It's one of them ones really, you can't really please everybody, I suppose. With me, the way I do music and the links that I like to make, in an ideal world, everybody would like to make genuine links. I do think when you do work with people on a genuine basis, the fruits of your labours will be more rewarding. You know, the music seems to be a bit more heartfelt, a bit more emotive. I think though, regardless, as long as you get to the end goal, it doesn't really matter. It's not about being fake nonetheless, but at the same time, you know, you can't please everyone. You don't genuinely have to get along with everyone, but that doesn't mean business can't run, and that doesn't mean people can't achieve, you know. So I hear what people are saying in terms of there still being a problem with the togetherness being, you know, not always genuine, but it depends on how you look at it.
I don't even know, but if a relationship ain't genuine when someone's working with me, I don't want to know. And I think that you can kind of sense if it's not genuine or not. But for the people that are building relationships that are not genuine, it's not going to really work for you in the long run. That's what I would say. So if you're not, like me personally, if I'm not genuinely going to do something for someone, or I think it's just going to benefit me, and this is the reason why I'm doing it, I'm not going to do it, you know what I mean? So it's about being real to yourself firstly. And
Over the years, there were many reasons to Birmingham's downfalls in the terms of the grime scene, one being the unity, as we spoke about. However, there's much more reasons that they are not where they desirably want to be. It was interesting to find out much more of other elements such as infrastructures and their development in understanding the music business.
What held us back? I wouldn't say it was ourselves, you know, because in the early days in the drum scene, like, whatever was happening, you made it happen. Like, that's all we had. I think now there's just a lot more opportunities. I said earlier on in the interview, like, growth within the scene, like with the growth that you see now and the evolution of the scene, like, that is enabling people to do more stuff. Like, whereas back then it was just like strict like creativity. Like, now it's just mad, like you can just get involved, but back then it was a different thing and it was set people doing it, and it's grown, man. It's good the way it's grown, but back then I'd say like people just wasn't looking at Birmingham. Like, it was all about, I'll say, London artists.
Birmingham's downfall in the earlier years, it's a bit difficult because it depends on which side of the coin you look at it. I mean, outside looking in, if you're thinking in the respect to the fact that why isn't Birmingham seen, you know, say in as high a stature as, say, London, then maybe, yeah, you could say a variety of things: work ethic, work rate from certain individuals, ambition, aspirations, you know what I mean, all of these type of things. But I think you can't really look at it like that for Birmingham in terms of it being a downfall. I think more to the point is the lack of resources and lack of infrastructure. You know, I think as a city, even though there's a lot of talent, in terms of this particular scene, the grime scene, we definitely need much more in terms of platforms, more, you know, legitimate radio stations to play and broadcast the music, TV as well for broadcasting, and various avenues like that, not just relying on the pirate and underground pockets.
We're going back to where the music comes from. It comes from the streets, innit? Now, with that comes a lot of artists who go to prison. You know what I mean? You know, that can have a big dent in things. If you know, we've had a lot of our big artists that have been, you know, taken off the road, go to prison, and obviously it has a knock-on effect on, you know, the whole town. Somebody like JK, you know what I mean, Mayhem, Deadly, you know what I mean? If, you know, them man go away, it has a massive impact, you know, on the city. But as we say, we're still building, the infrastructure's not there yet, and you know, there's a lot of mistakes that are being made right now that just keep pushing us back. But you know, we're sort of overcoming them to build this infrastructure, so you know, things like that won't happen. The inconsistencies, you know what I mean, a lot of artists lose heart as well because there's nothing there, or because they can't get their tune played. They lose heart and they quit doing music, you know what I mean, which is sad, cause one of my philosophies is that we want to keep people chasing their dream.
You know, like Birmingham, it's just a bit too hood sometimes, isn't it? And people from different ghettos, and everyone's grown up with that ghetto mentality. So whereas you would probably want to link with people and do rare. Man are turning up to dances, taking a mic off people, and you know what I'm saying. So people will stray away from that. Like them Birmingham man, them man are too trodden, too rough, and too. You know what I'm saying. But now we're finally at a stage where we can work in it. But before, I would say that we was too much on the vibes. You know what I'm saying? The vibes was on a badding up thing and badding up, man. And not me personally, but there's people in Birmingham that was like that in it. So that's what kind of kept people from working with Birmingham artists or trying to give Birmingham recognition that they really deserve, because we've always been good, but now we've kind of dropped out the badness and we're focusing on the music side and the business side of things, which people are going to embrace and endorse that now.
I think the downfall back in the day, yeah, everyone's too in their shell. Everyone's way too in their shell. Everyone had way too much pride. You get what I'm saying? People never used to reach out like how people reach out now. People never used to travel like how people travel now. Like back in the day, yeah, Birmingham Grime was Birmingham Grime. It happened in Birmingham. It felt like no one didn't even want to leave Birmingham. You get what I'm saying? Now people reach out. People put themselves out there. They go where they need to go. They land at the shows they need to be at. So where they need to meet people to make things happen. You know what I'm saying? So the main downfall, I would have said, from back in the day in Birmingham Grime was people were putting themselves out there enough.
If we keep working hard and if we build industry up here, back to the industry again, then I can see us, you know, never say never basically, you know what I mean?
There's not a lot of shows down here. It's always been like that from like back in the garage days. Like we had a lot more than what we have now, but we never had a lot. And like it's continued for over the years and stuff, and like I hear about the odd thing going on, but it's nothing regular. Like, even in London, I don't think there's as many things going on as we think, because I see people complaining and stuff, but there is a lot more. So down here, I don't know if the promoters are like, they associate the genre with like trouble and whatnot, but that's just negative, man. You're gonna get like mad people everywhere. So like, just need to let it run really. It's a positive thing, and I think they'll see the crowd and the people that listen to Grime, it's kind of changed over the years. If you take a look inside and see what's going on, it's a whole different crowd.
There is a lack of infrastructure and industry in Birmingham, whereas you look at other places like London, there's a lot of business industry, you know, sponsorship deals and companies that want to get involved in the music, whereas Birmingham hasn't got that. So we're having to go and do things on our own back.
Touching back on the topic of unity as the doc draws to a close, we wanted to get the views of the contributors on whether grime music on a whole is powerful enough to unite all the contributors, just like it unites the fans as they relish the entertainment.
The power of grime right now is worldwide. It's nothing like it used to be. Like, we used to make grime and think that people used to think here that if you don't like to make grime here, it's gonna take you so far, and then you have to change what you're doing to get further. It's not true. Right now, grime here is loved by the whole world. Like, I go on my Twitter here and I'm talking to people in Japan. I'm talking to people in Australia. I'm talking like fully like places I've never been. You get what I'm saying? People listen to my music now. It's not just me. That's happening with everybody, which is making me know, yeah, that grime has grown to a different degree.
Yeah, I think grime is powerful enough to bring people together. Like, it's already proved that it does that. It needs to happen on a much bigger scale, but yeah, definitely, it's got that power. It's doing it already. It brings people together. Music does that. Like, people may share different interests, but when they're feeling the same music, like, they click, and you know, that opens different doors. So yeah, definitely, I think it needs more on a whole, but the power's there to bring more unity through the music.
It's already happening. New relationships are getting built, and everything's elevating. But we just gotta keep going and keep going, because over the years to come, the more and more it gets consistent, is the more and more it will build for Birmingham as a whole.
It is that powerful from what we've seen, you know, from what the culture and the music itself has been through. You know, there was a period where people were like, is grime dead? Grime is dead. You know, if it was gonna be, it would have been then. You know, it's here, it's back, it's bigger. You know, it's stronger than it ever was. When you hear a lot of music, you know, you kind of think, well, you know, you've heard it all, but every single time there's a new track, there's a new feeling, there's a new vibe, there's a new wave. You know what I mean? Grime is very much here to stay, and I think you can only get better. The more doors that get kicked down, you know, the more the mainstream stakeholders take an interest in what it is that this scene is and what it can bring, and the inspiration it gives to people who follow it.
Artists are starting to unite. Artists who didn't talk to each other or had personal beef are now, they can be in the same building without anything popping off because they respect, you know, what's going on. You know what I mean? Eskimo Dance the other day, first time they come to Birmingham in over 15 years. There was loads of people in there that physically got a problem with this person, but they're just, you know what I mean? They weren't interested that night. That night they was there to party. You know what I mean? A lot of people know that if it kicks off, especially in the grime wave, especially with, you know, the media, and it's like anytime they get a chance they want to put bad publicity on it, you know, the artists and the people who come out to grime now, you know, make it a duty to behave themselves, because they don't want the rave to get locked off. They don't want no knock-on effect to happen of where another promoter comes and tries to do a grime event. They can't, because this happened at that event.
When you look at people who are getting the recognition, you know, and respect, you know, the overdue praise from people in the UK looking into this city, you know, it should definitely motivate artists from this city to want to do more, and I think it has. Once again, you know, over the past 5 to 7 years, the work we've put in has brought us to where we are now. You've got people who are actually flying the flag and you know, getting a lot of respect and adulation from people in the scene, and you know, as a result of that, it's making a lot of people who look up to them work harder, want to do more and push, which can only be good for the city. You know what I mean? So definitely recognition from artists is a big factor in motivating people.
If you do something and you get credit for it, you feel good in yourself. You want to do more and more and more of that stuff. So I believe as an individual, if I'm going to say myself, when I do something and I get good feedback, obviously you're always going to get the negative, but if you get good feedback and a lot of people are supporting it, and that, it makes you feel uplifted. So I want to do more of that. I want to get more stuff heard to more of these people, and I want to do more.
There's a lot more motivation now, and like I think you're going to see a lot of people like doing more because they see opportunities opening and they see certain cosigns and whatnot, and it's good for the artists. Like the younger generation are coming up, and I think, as I keep saying, it's growing and growing, so there'll be more platforms for them to exercise what they're doing and get their music out there and stuff. And yeah, we're gonna have to see what the future holds, man. Cause at the minute, like, it's good. It's more the London side when it comes to the major releases and stuff, but I think we're gonna actually have like our own massive scene down here one day, like A&R's down here and all the actual big record labels down here.
Different, yeah. Yo, man came up on some next shit, fam. Listen, yeah. Grew up in Birmingham and that. Grew up round knives and guns and that. Grew up not having no funds and that. Just happy with the air in my lungs and that, yeah. Grew up in the ends and that. Grew up calling feds Leng and that. Grew up round Nike and S, regulating some of the finest pen from the flats. I grew up on Titch and that. Every day stealing whips and that.